against a police state, against racist intersectionality, against political correctness, against mob rule, against the racist socialist left, against the victimhood liars. The idiots have been in charge way too long. And that's why you're here. For the podcast you need. All for liberty all the time. Welcome to Liberty Bites Back. With your host, Brandon Emo.
Welcome to the 8th episode of Liberty Bites Back. In this episode, I am going to be going over the final debate between Donald Trump and Joe Biden, while first explaining Coyotes and the possibility of, if Joe Biden wins, of him enacting court packing and advocating for an end to our constitutional republic. Since 2014, after the child migrant crisis broke out in that summer of 2014, Coyotes, or human smugglers, have been bringing unaccompanied children to the border and having them cross, knowing that the wording of a 2008 anti-trafficking law, and because of the backlog of cases in the immigration court, that would allow the children to be stuck here in America for a long time, since their deportation is stuck in the law in the immigration courts, and it would take a long time to process each of them. Now, for this discussion, I've found this as the definition of coyote: a person that smuggles people and that gets paid by migrants for them to illegally smuggle them across the U.S.-Mexico border. Now, there has been several reports of human smugglers selling migrants off to the cartels for kidnapping, trafficking, and recruitment. There has also been reports of smugglers abandoning migrants at some point in the journey to America after charging fees and them being unable to pay those fees. Now, during the final debate between Donald Trump and Joe Biden, Donald Trump brought up coyotes and explained the child migrant crisis that leaves children in America parentless and stuck here. Many ignored the context clues around this, like a Georgia state representative that showed that she is so dense, she believed that Donald Trump was talking about dogs bringing the children here. She's even a corporate lawyer, and I have no idea how you passed a bar exam without knowing every criminal name for their illegal activity. She is an American idiot. Darshan Kendrick, Georgia state representative, said, "Did Donald Trump just say 545 kids, they can't find their parents for they come over through cartels and coyotes? How the hell does a coyote bring a whole human across the border? Lord, stop talking." Final debate. Another American idiot is from the idiocracy of the Parkland kids who hate guns. David Hogg became a laughingstock, being so ignorant to what a coyote is. He is an American idiot. David Hogg said, "Imagine calling the immigrant parents that bring their children to the United States for a better life coyotes. The level of xenophobia is sickening." These leftists, they're so ignorant and non-knowing of common terms around the southern border. They don't even know about the child migrant crisis and are completely ignoring the reasons why anything like this is happening. But they still open their dumb mouths. They say, the president is so dumb, thinking a coyote. They thinking a dog is bringing children to the U.S. border. They say, oh my, Trump is so dumb. He is so stupid. No, he is not dumb. You are all stupid as humans get. You can't even pick up context clues to understand anything, and you can't even Google. You can't even pay attention to what is happening. They are American idiots, and they are completely the stupidest people ever. And while we are on Democrats being idiots, it's clear that if under Joe Biden, if he shall win, our courts will be packed. The 9 Supreme Court justices will become who knows how many as they state that they want to pack the courts ridiculously. To the Democrats, a Supreme Court justice has no reason to even exist anyway. To the Democrats, they just want to repeal and get rid of the Constitution in its entirety. Which without a constitution, there's really no purpose of the Supreme Court, is there? Our rights would be unrecognized and deteriorate to nothing. The New Republic, a lefty weird news bullcrap maker, has said the American left should work towards abolishing the Constitution someday, either for a new document or a new democratic order without a written constitution. With this news, it's clear that the Democrats don't even like the framework itself of the constitutional republic we have. Wanting to remove the Constitution of the land, Joe Biden on the court packing said, they'll know my opinion on court packing when the election is over. And he also stated that the voters do not have any reason to know if he would want to do that or not. He's a terrible leader. He has also said, I will ask them to over 180 days come back to me with recommendations on how to reform the court system because it's getting out of whack. These leftists, these haters of our country think all the things are whack, like a constitutional republic itself. They think that the separate branch of government that protects our rights, the Supreme Court, it's whack. They want the court to be the lawmakers, not the constitutional right defenders. Now just think, we might just wake up one day, we will, someday, if these lefties get in charge, we will wake up one day with a completely different government, and it has many biting their nails and worry of what the heck that means. What will you think when you wake up and learn the government thinks you have no rights? While our rights are inalienable and don't exist from the Constitution, it does make it so that they are written and recognized. Now they want them to never be recognized. They want the courts to be overruled. They want them to be slam-packed with their own justices. And they want to get rid of our Constitution. This is ridiculous. Who wins? Who's always won? The culture clash. The culture war is real. I have talked about it. I even have a playlist explaining the culture war and how racists have infiltrated the ideology of social justice. And then during the final debate between Joe Biden and Donald Trump, we saw a new rule that is a big problem. Cutting off Donald Trump around 2 to 5 times as they say they will mute both while they were talking over their 2 minutes or talking during their opponent's time. And it was sick, and it was a stupid joke. The moderator was steadily a Joe Biden biased and giving him all these easy peasy questions, and was arguing with Donald Trump like every moderator Donald Trump has had during this 2020 election. It was sickening and ridiculous to see the bias so clearly. Muting anyone should be seen as a clear form of censorship and against free speech in our nation. Let's not forget that Joe Biden was the first to interrupt Donald Trump in the first debate. But the media fell to Biden's side, defending Joe Biden, blaming it all on Donald Trump. And Trump was the only candidate in the final debate to be muted while talking many times. Despicable and ridiculous to see. All these ridiculous things falling onto the Commission of Presidential Debates. The fact that the Green Party and the Libertarian Party have no debate with the rest, the Republicans and the Democrats, that's the fault of the Commission of Presidential Debates. And that needs fixed as well. We all need a voice in America. Even beyond that, the fault of the Commission of Debates was also on the night of the 2 town halls. Instead of having another debate, we fell into having 2 town halls, one for Biden and one for Donald Trump, both in person, both having people there, but they could not meet with each other. They completely failed at their only reason of existence. And it is completely messed up that any of them still have their jobs. They failed at their only job, and that is their only reason of existence, and they could not even give us that second debate. Instead, they gave us the night of 2 town halls. I said it before, and I say it again. All involved in these terrible flaws, they need fired, and they removed from their jobs that they fail at achieving. All of these reasons show that the commission themselves are biased and completely failing our nation. Joe Biden really failed at the final debate. One of these failures was clear. Joe Biden said, I don't look at this in terms of the way he does. Blue states and red states. They're all United States. But then Joe Biden says, just right after saying that, he shows that he is completely a liar. He showed all of the American people that he just lied to us. He said, I don't look at terms in the way he does. Blue states and red states. They're all the United States. Well, then he said, look at the states that are having such a spike in coronavirus. They're the red states. They're the states in the Midwest. The states in the upper Midwest. That's where the spike is occurring significantly. It did not take long for Joe Biden to show that he himself does not separate truth from fiction. He does separate the states into red states and blue states himself in his own rhetoric. He was clearly shown as a liar here, doing his politics, lying right in the face of the people. You can't say I don't separate the states on red and blue and then just lead straight into separating the states into red and blue. Joe Biden, when talking about the coronavirus, only suggested wearing a mask, closing up shop, and putting all of the Americans into debt into more issues. To me, this was ridiculous and just a joke of an argument. It's nothing new, but it's Joe Biden plagiarizing like he always does, taking ideas that never work, much like communism, and sprinkling it over any good ideas that exist to hide them from the public. We can't just close down and be scared. We have to open up. And we need to be faithful and hopeful for the best. It was Joe Biden's biggest failure in the debate to separate the states while he demonized doing the thing he is doing in the same paragraph. It made Joe Biden look like a big fat liar, and it made it really worrying to many people as many lies were exposed on what he lies about. He does think in those terms, and he thinks of what a wonderful people in the blue states, while he hates and will punish those in the red states. He has nothing thinking of any state of an American state. He does not think of any state as an American state. He does not look at us as the United States. He looks at us as blue states and red states. And he clearly thinks on the party of each state. Look at the states that are having such a spike in the coronavirus. They're the red states. That's what he said. And that exposed his own talking point, and he tore down his own argument. We are the biggest country to have amazing tests for COVID-19. Tests that confirm many have it. While usually the pandemic is off deaths, like H1N1, never turning into issues like we have now. It's now changed into the government and the crazy World Health Organization sounding alarms off for just having the virus itself. We are told right now that we are in a surge. We are told that a national mask mandate is unconstitutional, but the doctors don't care about your rights, nor did Hitler's doctors, who he always listened to. They never cared about anyone's rights either. Their science and their bullcrap is all these scientists ever care about. Having guinea pigs and using the guinea pigs to test their theories out. And that's what we are to these people. We're their little guinea pigs. We're here to be doing their little tests, to do their little experiments in society. See exactly what might work in the future. They want to use us as guinea pigs for what they can study and see about us. And a CNN report states, Fauci says it might be time to mandate masks as COVID-19 surges across the United States. Dr. Anthony Fauci has been reluctant to support the federal mask mandate. A national mandate probably would not work, he said on September 15th during a news conference with Vermont Governor Phil Scott. Fauci, the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, has been urging Americans to use masks for months. I have trust in the American people that they will put a strong emphasis on the importance of wearing masks. That we will come around and get that percentage up above the relatively low percentage of people that are using masks, Fauci said on July 21st on the NPR's Morning Edition. But he has said before that he does not think a federal law would be the way to go. I don't like to be authoritarian from the federal government, but at the local level, if governors and others essentially mandate and use of the masks, when you have an outbreak, I think that would be very important, Fauci said to Alabama Senator Doug Jones during a Facebook Live event in July. Until now, well, if people are not wearing masks, then maybe we should be mandating it, Fauci told CNN's Aaron Burnett Friday. He called this action authoritarian. Dr. Fauci said that this is authoritarian. He also said it would not work. And now the Democrats are talking about getting rid of the Constitution, and they're wanting to ram in the Supreme Court justices. And he is noticing many on the left, they don't care about rights, and the authoritarians are taking over. And now he is pushing for the unthinkable, to force muzzles on all of us, on the federal level. Dr. Fauci, he is a mad man. Dr. Fauci, he is a mad scientist, and Dr. Fauci, the power and the prestige is going to his head. It's getting bigger than anyone, making his ego high. And now he thinks that the authoritarianism in our borders, that'd be a good thing. He wants authoritarianism in America. Listening to the doctors to become authoritarian is much like Hitler listening to his mad scientists. When their atrocities came across Germany, and this should all worry everyone, when we start listening to doctors who state that it's authoritarian and that they want it. They want the authoritarianism in our country. We should be very worried. We should know that this is not a good thing. When we let them have the power to turn our constitutional republic into an authoritarian state. Now, I do want to go ahead and thank you for watching the 8th episode of Liberty Bites Back. Peace.